I really like Star Wars. The lore and world building of every single piece of media added just is absolutely fascinating to me. Watched the films, seen the shows, both animated and real life, and read all the comics and web novels. What fascinates me the most, however, are the buildings. Of course, you've got the iconic ones like the Kanto Casino, the Senate Apartment building, Cloud City, Jabba's Palace. But what really fascinates me the most is the Jedi Temple. Therefore, today in Minecraft, we will be building the Jedi Temple. Who could have seen that coming? Right, so the first thing I had to do was make the base of the temple, which is what you see me doing now. But first, I want to explain some things. The first being the biome that I'm building in. So the Jedi Temple is on the planet Coruscant, which is a planet very similar to Earth. However, it has so many buildings on it that the planet looks like one large city. Therefore, I'm building the temple in a stone biome to somewhat replicate that feel, because I'm not building all of that. Second, I want to know the colour of the temple. So if you look at the actual temple and shots from the films, it does look more yellow. So one would naturally think to make this out of sandstone. I, however, hated the way that looked. And, well, it's my build, so this is what we're doing. In the main photo I'm referencing, it is nighttime, and so the temple does look more grey, so that's a justification I'm going with. On to the actual building of the temple. From what I can see, the bottom part, which I'm building now, is slightly less slanted than the top, so I've added 2 blocks between the stairs to try and mimic this and make it less steep. Now, I never recorded a clip of just the outline of the temple, which is the red wall you can see there, but the whole thing is going to be 200 by 200 blocks. That's kind of the scale we're working with here. So this base, the base wall that I'm building now, is 15 blocks tall. So I haven't quite worked out yet how high the pyramid bit will be. But that's, yeah, compared to a player, 2 blocks tall, this is 15. And then the rest will be a lot bigger. Now, as I'm just finishing up the wall, you can start to tell it does look a bit plain. And that gap right there was me realising that. So what I'm going to do now is mark along... Well, first I do something wrong, which I didn't end up going with. I'm marking these little things, indents in the wall. I can't quite make out what they are. So in the end, I've gone with smooth andesite, and they end up being 5 of them on each wall, each 3 blocks long, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, here I don't know what I'm doing, just completely wrong. But so I can't make out what they actually are in the photo I'm referencing, or in any photos I'm referencing. So if someone could, I don't know, let me know, that'd be wonderful if you do know. So yeah, this is the height I'm going with. And yeah, as I said, I fill it in with andesite. And later on, I don't think it's in this clip, I also add these, I should be showing them on screen now, these more wall decorations, and I make them out of andesite walls. So that's what I've gone with to decorate the wall of the temple. So I'm trying to find my words here. So that's what I've gone with. The minute to just talk. I would like to mention how cool the Jedi Temple building is, and that goes for all of the buildings in Star Wars as well. I mean, I was struggling to choose just one to build for this video. Obviously, I did end up going with the temple, but I could have gone for so many others. I mean, Jabba's palace was up there, and I'm blanking now, but you know, just what the universe has created, what the Star Wars universe has created buildings-wise, is genuinely amazing. I would like to mention that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this is 1/8 of the base of the wall. Obviously, you have the the sticky out bit, which I'm going to build in a minute separately when I know all the maths about the height of the temple and stuff. But so this is the base, and now I just need to do this 7 more times, and then I will be back when I've done that. See you in a minute. The main walls of the temple are done. Of course, they're not entirely done, because I haven't finished the rectangular bits that stick out of it. However, like I did say before, I don't know how tall they're going to be yet, because I don't know how tall the pyramid bits are meant to be yet, so I'm probably going to do them last. In any case, it's time to move on to the next thing, which is building the pyramids. So I'll get straight to that. Now for the big pyramid walls. I have already done one of these just off to the left, so this is the second one being built. This wall is less steep than the one on the base, so I've done one block between the stairs rather than the two previously used. I was tempted to just use stairs, but then I felt that wasn't steep enough, so I went right in the middle just to be safe. Now this wall is very tall, 72 blocks tall to be specific, and at a certain point, just coming up, you can kind of tell that I hesitate a bit. That's because I built this wall the entirely wrong level to the other one. They're just different. So here's a comparison that you can see the different height between them. But the solution that I've come up to fix this is, henceforth, we will ignore it, because I was way too deep in it at this point to change, and I'm also in charge. So what can we do? I'm just going to call this bit the back, so you can't tell. I mean, other than that, I think it looks very cool. You can tell I've done the details. I've kept the granite to try and make it look more coherent together. Yeah, and I think I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Also, I never realised quite how dark the inside of this was, just looking at it while editing now. Like, wowzers, look at that, look at the shadow it's making. Oh yeah, I'm not doing the inside of this. The outsiders took way too long, and I'm just not doing the inside. But the outside looks cool, and I doubt anyone would care to see me do the inside, so it is what it is. These walls took me 5 hours. Looking at it now, I may have made this too big, but it is far, far too late to change it, and it does look very cool. So, I mean, it's whatever now, isn't it? They're done. So the next thing to work on is these protruding rectangles, which hopefully take less time, considering there are only 4 of them. But that is the next step, and that's what we'll be doing. Let's go. 3 hours. I have spent 3 hours on this and forgot to record any of it. I am around 2 minutes away from losing my mind. However, for my peace of mind, I am still going to demonstrate how I built it using pictures and labels. Right, so in the absence of any footage, this is the process of building it explained. So first I started with the middle big grey box, and then I put the smaller big grey boxes on each side, but for them I made them a gradient of stone, stone andesite, polished andesite, to just try and differentiate it. Then I put the big granite strip on the main box, and I added the little decoration at the bottom. Then I put the cyan terracotta on the top to make a border, and I also put that as the little decorative stripe you can see. So then at the bottom, I combined 2 details of the main temple, of the pylons and the statues, and by combine them, I just mean I put the statues nearer the entrance and just ignored the pylons completely. Because I couldn't the sizing didn't quite work, so I just skipped them completely. Anyway, each statue has a different colour lightsaber and a different object. There we go. That's what it is. Also, yes, my skin has slightly changed because I was insecure on how untextured my hair was before, so I've shamed myself into changing it. Right. We are on the home stretch now, and I'm going to lock in for these final towers, and I am going to record it. Watch this. Okay, so the first thing I built was the 4 smaller towers. So these are the towers: the JEDI High Council Tower, the Council of First Knowledge, the Reassignment Council, and the Council of Reconciliation. These are where they live. I'm only going to show you me building one, because they're all exactly the same, but as you can see in the background, I built one, then I recorded this one, just to double check. But anyway, it was 40 blocks tall, and then I wasn't quite sure on what to do at the top, because if you can see, it's much more bullet shaped in real life than what I've done. But I ended up just putting a dome on top. I think I'm very happy with how they turned out. And I just put a glass dome on the top. Again, I haven't done the interior because I don't think any of us want to see that. And then I start building the spike things. I'm not quite sure what they are. And I do some decorations around it, along with the gradient at the bottom. I didn't just build 2 random strips, I do promise. I ended up doing a gradient. That's what I did in the smaller poles. Anyway, then for the big one in the middle, once I've finished all 4. Now this was a big one. I ended up doing, I think, 75 blocks tall. And it does look relatively similar. I do keep it off, I keep it in theme with the other 2. But yeah, I just go around. I'm not quite sure. It's just I'm building a tower. So trust me, at this point I was getting so sick of just building in grey, because this is generally the least colourful building I think I've ever built. But I still prefer it to the sandstone, because I think that's just too yellow. There's no real block for what I think would have been perfect for it, but it's either way you're leaning either too grey or too yellow. But I decided the grey did look better in the end. Anyway, and the snow, don't even let me start. I forgot to turn off the weather cycle, and so there's just snow everywhere. You can't see it in the end. Anyway, on to the next bit. The 3 sticky outy bits. Now I did have a bit of trouble with this. Well, this first one is fine. This is kind of what I decided to go with. It just literally sticks out. But then for the other 2, as you can see in a minute, I know really it's supposed to be on the diagonal, but that looked awful. And as you can see, I hated how it looked. So I ended up just doing on the three of the 4 sides. And while I know it's not like historically accurate or whatever, I could not bring myself to try and figure out the maths of the diagonal. It was just too much for me. So I ended up doing 3 pointing out on each side. And then I just did another dome to try and, keep it in with the other 4, make it all look uniform. It was a big dome, trust. And then I added more of the... Yeah, okay. What do I do? Oh yeah, you can see inside I've added some decorations and stuff more. And then I had 4 spikes on the top. Now after that absolutely thrilling voiceover, I'm very, very excited to show you that it's done. It's so done. I've spent so long on this. I'm so happy with it. Ignore the fact my it's just absolutely lagging out. My laptop cannot handle the chunks needed to load this thing. But it doesn't matter, because it's done and I've spent so long on it, and honestly I am just so happy. I'm so unbelievably happy. It looks better than I could have thought. Wowzers, that is laggy. But anyway, yeah, that can't stop my jubilation. Unfortunately, the snow will have to stay, because I'm not getting rid of, like, that will take far too long, and you can't even see it from down there. Holy moly. So yeah, I hope you can ignore the lag and appreciate what I've built, because my goodness, it did take me a while. Anyway, it's done. Thank you so much for watching. It does mean a lot for me, to me even. And I'll see you in the next one.
Magnolia Town was humming, smoke clear.